We, I guess, to fill everybody in, and we're not going to waste any time getting into this because, well, I'm going to continue to ad lib like this so that I can get some people in here before I start explaining this. We don't have to do it twice. So we'll jump into it in a second. But we're going to be here with Tony. Tony, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Just I've been busy the last 2 days, just shipping and boxing and stuff. Shipping clothes and stuff. So staying busy, it's a good thing.
Certainly, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit. We'll get you some plug for your game tight apparel, of course. So, but now that we've given a little bit of time for people to get in here and start checking this out, we were having I thought a pretty interesting conversation. You suggested that this is definitely podcast worthy, and what we were talking about was like the best game that you could play, or like a really good style of game that you can play. And what we were talking about basically was the game of Saratoga, but with all 15 balls. So for anybody who doesn't know, Saratoga would be a mixture between 8-ball and rotation, where you have to run out in rotation your solids or stripes. So if you were solids, you'd have to run the 1 through the 7. If you were stripes, you'd have to run the 9 through the 15. And then you'd have to, whoever made the 8-ball was the winner of the game, just like an 8-ball. So it's like a mixture between the two. But
I never knew that it was called Saratoga, honestly. Rodney had explained the game to me a long time ago, and I thought it was actually better because here's the difference. Honestly, people are trying to change the game of one pocket by, taking the ball on the break. That's fine. We can take that out. That's fine. But let's not continue to try to change things that the game is made a certain way. You want to change something, change 10 ball and 9 ball. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, if people think that mainstream is looking for, let's say, people to run racks, yeah, that's great and everything, but it's not really the truth. I mean, it's not what people, I mean, here's the difference. We haven't had a sponsor come from outside of pool yet, and don't think for 1 second that it's probably going to happen anytime soon either. Sponsors
certainly not an outside sponsor that isn't in the pool world already.
Well, here's the difference. That's what I'm saying. Like, we as a pool community are already in pool. The people that are going to support pool are already in pool. It's not going to change. You're not going to go get Pepsi to sponsor nothing because they already sell Pepsi products and pool halls and everything else, and they don't have no way to get anything back from the pool world that they aren't already getting. So why would they give you $100,000 per year? They could do it just out of generosity, to sponsor something, like they sponsor, let's say, basketball camps or something else like that. But a lot of these companies are never going to come into pool, and people need to realize that. People have been living off, I mean, as long as I've been playing pool from the day I started, I mean, people would say, oh, somebody's got to save pool from the outside. Somebody's going to save pool. It's going to be somebody that plays pool or is already in pool. It's not going to be somebody coming from the outside. If that happens, great, but don't keep wishing upon that star because it's been happening for 30 years and nothing's changed. So guess what? At the end of the day, I honestly think the only way pool is going to change now in the United States right now, actually, there's a few that are doing some good things for pool. I'll give props to Omega Mike. He's getting events. We talk a lot. I do a lot of business with him. Ray Hansen with Pool Action TV. I know that in a way, it's competition and whatnot, but at the end of the day, them two are like the main streamers that got the following, and they're actually putting on a couple big events, and they're both doing big action matches. They're actually doing some good stuff. Like, I mean, this big event that's coming up next week, Texas Open. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a heck of a tournament. I'm kind of glad, I mean, I'm honestly going to be trying a little bit harder because I know the money's there now. You know what I mean? Like, when the money's there, that's when I show up. I feel like I do, at least. I mean,
if
I play bad, it's because, yeah, I mean, I'm for me, now I don't want to go pumping none of the other players up, but for me, that's what it is. When you get that money up there, then you're going to see something that you wanted to see. So Matchroom, yeah, Matchroom's great and everything, but they're more wanting to do more stuff overseas. Let them do what they want to do. That's fine. I'm not saying Matchroom's not doing good stuff, I just think they're one-sided with the 9-ball and stuff like that, which is fine. I guess they have their ways of getting sponsors and TV footage, and they have to do what they have to do. I give them props. I'm not saying nothing bad about them either. I just think for American pool right now, Omega and Pool Action TV, they're doing the most. There's some other smaller streamers that are doing some stuff, like, Mike Pool.
I think Roy was doing some good stuff at the beginning of the pandemic, especially.
Roy was too. I mean, these guys are. So I give props to Omega and Pool Action TV because here's the reason: they're nonstop. They're going after it. They're going every week. They're not. There's no break. Okay, so there's no. They're not. I understand. I mean, I love Roy to death. I mean, I'm not saying nothing bad about Roy either. I mean, Roy does what he can. But Roy's got his own life too. You know what I mean? I'm sure Roy's doing other things besides just, in the pool world. But he still stays tuned, and he's still going to do things in the pool world. But he's not that, I mean, the avenues of current, you have to support these businesses in general. You know what I mean? There's some businesses in pool that have no business to be in pool. I'm not going to put their name out there, but let's just say there's people that got businesses in this pool that are taking money out of pool and don't ever put nothing back and don't have 2 cents into it and don't even play pool. So that money gets put into their pocket. They take it somewhere else. I'm not saying, hey, that's that's the American way, right? You can do what you want. It's freelance, right? You can, you make yourself an entrepreneur. You can do anything anywhere, right? So I'm not going to say nothing bad about anybody, but let's just put it this way. When you support somebody, just know what you're supporting, know what the person's about, know what the character's about. I mean, there's people out there that are doing stuff, that are trying. I'm not no perfect angel by no means, but I don't badmouth people. I don't cause problems. I'm not trying to. I mean, if I play a big match, I'm gonna always be a gentleman. I don't try to cheat nobody out of nothing. I don't pull moves. I get really good feedback. I love the pool community. They show me love. Listen, hey, my heart, it's there for y'all because you guys show me support. So you guys are the reason why I'm able to live the way I'm living. You know what I mean? So, knock on wood, I really appreciate everything. And, but I want to give props to the people that are making it easier for me to go to events. I have a lot of people behind me that, matter of fact, we just getting jerseys made, because I got a lot of sponsors that I picked up. I made a Facebook post and I got a lot of good feedback, and I mean, I really appreciate these people. They didn't have to do it, but they did, but they are. We in the pool world, we're not going to make millions of dollars. I'm not trying to make $1 million. I'm just trying to, more or less just, get by, to get from event to event, and there's not a lot of events that are going on all the time, but the ones that are going on, I want to do, I want to help, support, but it has to make sense for me, and these guys that, people ask me, why don't you go to this 9-ball tournament or you don't go to this, that, and the other, right? Sorry, just wanted to turn the dinger off, but, so, like I want to go to things, but cost effectiveness of me going to a certain place and this, that, and the other, it has to make sense. I can't, I wish I could go to every single state and every single city every week, but I can't. It's not possible. It's don't get me wrong. I mean, as much as I'd love to, get everywhere and, see different people all the time, and don't get me wrong, I've made my way through a lot of states already through my career, and and I always see new people and I always get good feedback, and I love it when people try to they at least introduce themselves, because at the end of the day, when I'm on Facebook, I'm not looking at every single person's profile to see what they look like. I just can't. I don't have that time. So at the end of the day, if you know I'm your Facebook friend or something, and you just want to say, hey, my name is this, and we're Facebook friends, hey, great. Now at least
so
I got to
spend your time Facebook stalking people. Is that what you're
I wish I could, but I can't do it no more. Once upon a time, I might have looked through a few profiles, but not no more.
It's going to say, it sounds like you have a life. What's that like?
Yeah. Let's just say I'm a very sick individual when it comes to gambling. So that's my lifestyle, you know. So I enjoy gambling. I enjoy that, you know. As long as I played pool, I've always been a gambler, and that's what drives me to play more is when I'm got something on the line. I don't have to play for, I guess people always thought that I had to play for $5,000 or $10,000. No, I can play for 200 or 300. I don't mind. You know what I mean? $100 sets, stuff like that. Something. I mean, when I first started, it was $10 on the line. But let's just face it, $10 don't go very far anymore. So I can't really do it for 10. But when I started, don't worry, there was $10 sets all the time. 10 and time. That's what it was.
10
Races to 3 for 10 and time.
$10 will get you now. $10 will get you half a sandwich
or a soda. It's bad, but. No, yeah, I mean, I just, and I don't want to go off tangent and make it all about that, but I really did want to give, these people that are out there that are promoting pool and doing the right things. I mean,
and in the right ways.
Yeah. And, Omega Mike, he's doing a lot of good things. Ray Hansen's doing a lot. Ray gets around, I got to give him props. He's earning. People think he's getting rich off pool. He's putting his time in is what he's doing. Omega's putting their time in that, he's got a billiard business. He's in the streaming business, and he's pushing. He's pushing, and we talk all the time and stuff. And they're both doing good events with big money added.
We're and I think a person that does kind of get swept under the carpet too with that is Phil. Phil does a lot of. I mean, Phil is with Omega Mike, and he does good work with what they're doing.
For sure,
yeah. I think a lot of people actually don't. I think it's kind of Phil's personality. He doesn't really like to be the loud guy that just kind of talks about himself all the time. He sits in his corner. And,
well, shit, you won't ever see a picture of him, so that tells you don't really want to be seen.
Yeah, it's tough to. It's tough.
But no, I get it. You know what I mean? It's everybody's different. You know what I mean? It's just pool's good depending on how you market it.
Yeah,
pool's good depending on what the promoters do to get the events. There's enough businesses in the pool world that I believe that if they donated a little bit and not just product, and helped with funds to get some big events going on in the United States. I mean, we have enough big events. Why do you think all these foreigners always come over here and stay here for long periods of time? I'm not trying to make it sound like that, but that's what it is. Why do you think they come over here? Because for one, believe it or not, well, we all know, we are softer competition, for one. Two, that's why they come here.
Yeah.
That's and the amount of money that's paid in the prize funds is pretty good. So it's not like it's a there's reasoning behind why most players are coming over here, because even overseas, some of these events and some pool has died in certain areas and some places is thriving. But, with COVID going on and this, that, and the other, there's obviously a lot of things that are going on that are stopping certain things. But, I believe, I think if Matchroom honestly moved out of just the 9-ball phase and maybe got into all aspects of pool, you're still going to get the same viewership. You're not going to get your 10-year-old kid that never picked up a pool stick to watch pool. It's just, there's a chance it can happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but people that don't play pool aren't just going to jump up and start watching pool every single day. So they got to start attacking the people that are already in pool, that are already giving them the viewership and they're already getting funds from that. So why not just support pool in general? Don't just support one game.
So what is something you'd like to see Matchroom start up?
Oh, I'd love for them to do bigger one pocket events. Obviously, because I'm a one pocket connoisseur, that's me, So, obviously, I'd love to see some big money one pocket tournaments. And I believe that you will get more people to come to a venue to watch a big one pocket event than they could even imagine. I understand, but you get the right people and the right money and the right atmosphere. There's a lot of people that love watching one pocket. There's a lot of people that don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Because that just depends on how it's played, If you watch Nick Varner play, most people didn't ever want to watch him because he was going to wedge everything in a corner, you know. You watch a guy like me, maybe I'm going to fire at my hole, maybe I'm going to come with something creative, so some people are going to watch me. It's just, I mean, you know, like one of the first times that we did a free stream through POV Pool with Daniel, and that was when I played Dennis the first time for the 50,000, and you know, they did a free stream, and to tell you the truth, it was probably a really good move on their part to do the free stream because some people don't want to pay. You know, I get it. You know what I mean? Some people don't, or they don't, whatever it is, right? But they got the sponsorships and stuff to make up for the fact that they can do the free stream, right? Well, I had people message me after that. Huh?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was probably
3
or 4 years ago.
The first time he played Dennis? No, it was longer than that.
No, I think it was like 2017 or 18. Matter of fact, if I look around my house.
When you played him in Beloit, so you beat him the first time and then lost.
No, I didn't play him in Beloit. That was Scott. Scott lost.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was Scott. Yeah, Scott got drilled.
Yeah. So I played him right after that, maybe about 6 months or something. Yeah. So, okay, long story short, I ended up playing him. I won that first time, whatever. There was a lot of great shots. You know, that's what the highlight films come from, and the 2-rail jump kick that everybody wants to, you know, always says, you know, every time that everybody, that's the first thing that comes to mind when they see me. Oh, that 2-rail jump kick was the nuts, this, that, and the other. But so watching that and this, that, and the other. But after I played that match, I had people messaging me, you know, congratulating me and stuff like that. But they also said, like, I can't believe it, but I had my wife watching the whole time, and they actually liked it. But that was because there was it was a lot more, you know, it was a different style of play.
You and Dennis are about as interesting as a one-pocket duo as you can get. You guys are both ready to fire at anything.
Right. You know, there's just a lot of firepower going on, and you know, it wasn't like it was a boring or dull moment, you know, realistically. So that being said, certain people will watch it, and it opens some buzz up for, you know, some people that would watched it that would never pay to watch it, but now that they actually watched it for free, they would maybe pay next time or something, you know. So I mean, I'm just saying it's wide open. You just never know, you know.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some one pocket, of course. That's a good segue into it. We are bringing you on to talk about your matchup with Alex. And you have not played Alex outside of tournaments for, I mean, I guess like kind of like race to 3 tournaments for quite a while now, right?
Right. We played a couple. We played one time for money, maybe a couple, 2-3 years ago. He beat me. Those were like single set races to 10, and he beat me. You know, that's what they wanted to do this time, and I was like, I'm not looking to. I don't want to play. I don't want to start over every day. If I jump out ahead, you got to gain back. You know, that's just the way I feel like it. Yep. Or if he jumps out ahead of me, I got to gain back. So.
Yep. So why is right now the right time? I mean, this match could have happened maybe for the last 3, 4, 5 years, of course. Why is right now the right time in your mind?
Honestly, it's not that it could have happened 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, I was playing other people, and there was no reason for me to play Alex for sure. Now, you know, everybody's got me ahead of everyone else, you know, in America. So I only have 2 opponents, really, you know, unless I, you know, some of these other guys, they're just not going to get up there. I'm not going to be one of those guys that's going to be a talker. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to play, I'm going to play. You know what I mean? I don't tell you I'm going to do something and I don't do it. I don't talk about playing chip if I'm not making that match happen within the next 3 months. I don't talk about playing this person, that person, just to talk about it. I don't need to be relevant or irrelevant. I don't care. You know, like for me, this is my livelihood. I'm going to make stuff happen. I'm not here to, you know, draw more people just so I can get some attention. It's just not me. I mean, if I say I'm going to do something, if you was throwing a tournament on next month and I said I'll be there, I'm there. I don't call tournaments and tell them I'm going to put me on the list and not show up. That's not me. You'll never hear that about me. I will show up if I say I'm coming. Unless it's an emergency, which I haven't had one, knock on wood, and I hope I don't never have an emergency where I can't go to an event. I'm not saying stuff doesn't happen, but there's some players out there that it seems to happen every tournament. So guess what? I tell promoters now, if you want me to come to your tournament, just know that you better have a paid entry fee list from a lot of these players, because I'm not going off of whatever you say is going on. Because it's, in my opinion, it's hurting me, because I don't want to be paying expenses to go somewhere and then the prize fund isn't what I think it was going to be.
Well, that ended up happening at the expo, right?
Which expo?
I mean, the Midwest Expo up at Des Moines a couple of weeks ago, right? There was a bunch of players that didn't show up for the one pocket.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think they ended up having like 16, and there was like upper 20s that were signed up, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just a list, don't go throw. I mean, me as a fan or something, let's just say I'm a person that's a fan and I want to go to an event. If you put something on there and, hey, I say I want to see Tony Chohan and Tony Chohan don't show up, well, guess what? I spent my money to come to this event to watch Tony Chohan, but he didn't show up, and you had him on your list. Well, now I'm out some money and I got to come up here and see people I really didn't care to see. Or maybe you just didn't, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it but I'm just trying to give an example, right? So in my opinion, you're going to throw an event on, get people to pay. You know who you can trust and you know who you can't trust.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to pay my entry fees every time ahead of time. I'm not going to do that. But I can tell you my track record shows that I don't need to either. But I can show you that other people's track records show that they're not, it's just what it is. I mean, if you want to have, why is it that when they have the big events, these people hurry up and jump and put their money in right away?
Yeah, you get these people pretty quick.
Well, it's not even just that. It's just in general, it just makes it, it makes it more secure and makes events look better, and people can make plans to show up. People can spend their hard-earned money to go to this event. People go to the Derby every year because they know everybody's going to be there, right? It's just one of those marked events for the year, that people were going to go to.
So you said that you have basically two players in the world that you can play at this point. Obviously, that's Alex and Dennis. You're right. Trying to find out right now, and I think so. We're going to talk about the top 5 one pocket videos that have been coming out recently, but for the most part, I think most people have had Alex as their number one. I personally had Alex as my number one, but that is with the huge caveat that he hasn't played. In the last few years, I've either seen a drop off in his game, or I've seen that he's had a bad run of things for a little while. So the idea is,
truth be told, the thing is, we're both getting older, you know what I mean? So if we don't do this now or soon, we're I just turned 40. He's got to be about 45, 46, I think.
43 or 44, I think.
Or he might be only 42, 43. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he went into the Hall of Fame at 41 years old, and I think that was like 2 years ago. So maybe 43, 44, somewhere in there.
Okay, so let's just say. But, regardless, we're getting up there, you know what I mean? And best to play. The thing is, do I feel I could beat Alex even right now? In my mind, I feel like that. Am I saying I can? Obviously, he's Filipino. He's a better player. They pocket balls better than me. Everybody pockets balls better than me, in my opinion. I'm not saying, I'm humble. You know what I mean? Like, to me, people tell me all the time, hey, man, you pocket balls great, or you bank great, or you do this, that, and the other great. To tell you the truth, I look at a lot of people, I think they do everything better than me.
I was going to say, don't start saying you don't bank the balls good. You bank the balls real good.
I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying I'm saying, like, I don't know. I feel like certain things, consistency-wise, whatnot, here and there, is different, So, but I just feel like there's a lot of good players out there. I wish a lot of these other good players had the mentality that maybe I did or whatnot, and get out and about a little more often. Some people have their own demons or whatever that's holding them back or whatever. But in my opinion, I mean, if this is what you wanted to do for a living, you might want to start, making yourself a little better off, to do what you need to do before your time's up. I mean, so for me and Alex though, I felt like he owed me a spot. I mean, there's nobody's going to bet their money on me without me getting a spot. So I felt like, that's something that needed to be done. So for that reason, I told him, hey, if you want me to be able to bet big money, you have to give me something. I tried to get 8-7. That wasn't happening. So, and he even said, man, you're playing good, da, 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 I said, well, I'll tell you what, if you give me 9-8, I will play a big set. And so he said, all right, I'll try to make that happen. So we were trying, and we ended up making that happen. What happens from here on out, I can't say. I'm going to be going to these events, and I'm going to see Alex at these events. And, I mean, he's always going to be a great player. He's always has been, he's been a great 9-ball player, a great 1-pocket player. Their cue ball's good. Their banking skills are good. They do everything better than me, honestly. The only thing I think I do better is creativity, and I just feel like I can outthink a lot of people, and that's what makes me me. So, I feel like that's the only thing that really separates me from them. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, is there an American out here that's challenging people all the time and trying to gamble with all these guys? No, I'm the only one. I mean, it's surprising. Like, some of these other guys, you can keep trying to think that you're going to lock up these games and lock up wins or trying to get the best of it, man. If pool's been about as good as it's ever been, and it's now. This last year has been really great. I mean, pool's, there's backers in the pool world that want to bet, and there's sweaters, that want to watch. I mean, there's a little bit of everything, and honestly, I feel like pool's at its best, and it's at its best right now. So I think if like I try to tell people, like, if you're not in Aiken, South Carolina, and you're not either working or you can't make it because you don't have funds, that's the only two excuses I can see of why a pool player wouldn't be there. Or Texas Open, for that matter. I mean, these events are putting on $40,000, $50,000 worth of added money. You have never seen in the American pool 40 or 50,000 added money in a pool until now.
Yep.
So if you don't support it, and you don't support these business owners that are willing to put money up and support people like Ray or Omega, Mike, and all them, then you're not helping pool. You're keeping it, draw it back. They finally stepped up and put these big money. I mean, I've talked to Mike. He said, man, I'm putting these events on for you players. It's up to you to figure out how to get the money. And he's 100% right. And guess what? I'm going to figure out a way to get my piece of the pie every time I go to an event. Yep. Like, I went to Birmingham a couple of weeks ago. Mike did the thing, Mike Pool. What is it? What's this thing? Okay.
I don't know.
So anyways, well, I did, I went to that event. It wasn't a lot of players that showed up. There was another event going on in Sacramento at Oscars and stuff, so he had a lot of good players there. I get it, Oscar and them, they added 10,000 to an event over there, to the Brendan Crockett Memorial.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to him too. He's adding 10,000 to his junior tournament right now too.
Yeah, and but here's the thing. Certain people have that tie into the pool industry too, so they're getting a little help too, which is great. I'm not knocking Oscar by no means. He's doing what he needs to do to get some more added money into the events, and that's what you're supposed to do. Go after these people that are in the pool world that are selling product, because they should be able to help out. I just think that there's a lot of different ways. I mean, so a lot of places are putting on bank pool events. 9-ball events, 10-ball events, one pocket event. They're doing a derby style type of thing at all these places now, which is great because it gives everybody that wants to play a certain skill a chance to for cheap, not for
And
a
it gives you
lot.
more than one.
For cheap.
It gives you more than
And you
one
get to
bullet in the
see,
chamber too to make up your
yeah.
nut to get there.
So yeah, like I mean, it was good. You know, I mean, I wish there was I wish there was a tournament like that every couple weeks. You know, I mean, granted, you know, people are going to get burnt out, and some people aren't going to be able to make it to every event because you know they got a family, they got a livelihood, or whatever it is. But to support when these people are adding this kind of money is it's actually going to help pool grow if people support it. So,
and I think Lil Chris has a pretty good idea for you for a T-shirt. You need to do up that they're Filipino. They pocket balls better than me for a new shirt.
I mean, they pocket balls better than all of us. And that's just what
Yeah.
it is.
And Mike Ong was joining in. We were just talking about some of the people that were doing some good things in the industry, and your name got brought up right away. So that's all we were talking about there. And there's a couple other questions along the way. We will ask questions out there that if they're good questions. If they're going to be like, are you going to ever come to a certain area of the country? We're not going to ask that question because that's not really relevant to everybody that's here. So so the question I have now for you, let's move on to let's just talk about well, I guess I did want to get to a question earlier. You said that there's 2 players that you can play right now. In my mind, I think that there's 4 players that are kind of separated themselves. I think the top 2 arguably are in a little bit of a class of their own. And then right behind them is another 2 pairing that I think is in a class of their own. And I think it's you and Boosty. I still think Boosty plays some really strong one pocket game. What do you
I
think
mean,
of that?
hey, listen, I will never say that I'm better than the guy, but I will say that I would love to play him, but I really won't even play him anymore. And one of the reasons being, and this isn't a bad mouth him or nothing like that. I mean, the guy's a great guy. I love Boosty. We played one time, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and we played a set for like 15,000, and we went hill, and I lost, right? And he had a good backer. He had a great backer at the time, and he could have got up there and played another set. We played a race to 21. It was like 21-20 or something like that. And the guy that was staking me at the time was Dippy, and Dippy told him, "Hey, you guys can play a set for 100,000 right now. You don't have to play today. You don't have to play tomorrow. You can play within the next couple of weeks, whatever." But you know, I get it. Like that's the thing about some of the Filipinos; they won't get up there and put the money back and play. So I'm gonna give action to those that deserve action. You know what I mean? Like, you know, hey, you know, you have to be willing to keep playing. Why would you not? If the money's there, why not? You know,
Yep.
so it's just, I mean, I just felt like I kind of felt like it wasn't a smart move on his part when you can either keep 5 to 7,000, whatever your end is, or you can have a chance to win 120,000 and take a piece of that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I know what I'm doing every time. I can't speak for the next person, but I kind of, you know, and I'm not saying we haven't played after that. You know, we played some $5,000 sets and I won, you know, I won once and we really ain't played much after that, you know, but, and he's in the Philippines, whatnot, and he's getting up in age and I'm not going to sit there and act like, you know, but the guy's still a great player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
He's not,
timeless, seemingly.
no, I mean, honestly, he's playing better one pocket in the last 5 years than he did ever in his life, you know, to tell
I
you the
agree with
truth.
that.
So it's just what it is, you know, I mean, there's a time, and I mean, here's the difference. I'm playing probably some of the best one pocket I ever played. Within, I think recently, within the last 6 months, I'm playing better as you know, another trigger happened. Let's just say, I'm not going to tell people why it happened, but let's just say I changed up, you know, and I can change back, but I can change up. You know, people always think of me as the offensive person, da 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 da. I can change it. I can, you know, I don't never want someone to ever believe they know what my next shot is
Yeah,
or
you,
where
you
they
showed
put.
that during Chip, the last time you guys played in
Right,
New Orleans.
right. And, you know, I mean, I wish there was a tournament like Buffalo's 2 or 3 times a year. I mean, these are the things that happen. And if they happened all the time, I mean, pool be right back on the map. You know, all it's going to take, really, honestly, in my opinion, is going to take about $650,000 added events per year. You know, and all disciplines. You know, whatever it is, and I don't think that's that hard to do. And I think if you spread them out a little bit, and then you have your matches, you know, challenge matches, da 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 da, and you know, you're starting to get, you know, you're giving everybody a chance to start getting back into pool. There's a lot of people online that sweat pool, you know, make a little sweat bets, da 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 da, you know, so it helps, you know, it gives it, we're not no different than the NBA, Major League Baseball. The only difference is we don't get paid like them. So we have to make money too, right? I mean, here's one of the worst things one of the only things that I really don't like about doing. Well, I'm not gonna go there with this one yet. So, and I won't do that yet because it's for another time. Let's just say.
Yeah.
But there's, you know, there's an opportunity there, and I believe we're in the right direction. I believe from August till March is going to be hot for pool, really. You know, hopefully Derby happens. I think it's going to happen. I don't know. I haven't really heard much about it. But it's really going to be it's going to be a busy next 6-7 months.
Absolutely.
And we all,
there's a lot of events going on.
Yeah, and for me as a pool player, I just want to. I want to be at an event every week if I can. You know, I want to play pool. You know, I don't want to. I like my vibe in the pool world, and I like being in the pool hall. I like being in action. You know, if I can stay busy, then I'm not doing other stuff that I shouldn't be doing. You know, if I stay busy playing pool or playing cheap sets or giving lessons, da da da, I just try to keep it going. You know, every day is a day that you got to make the best of it. You know,
So let's move on to the top 5 videos that Molina Mike has been collecting. I think he's maybe released about 10 people's now, and the top 3, maybe pretty much the top 3 are pretty much a lock at this point. It's just a matter of the order that you have it in, and it's basically Alex, Dennis, and you in that order. But I want to talk about the American players because you are pretty widely considered, at least by the people who know the game really well, to be the best American player out there right now. And I think you showed that last time when you played Chip. Now, there's a couple of other players that have an argument potentially of being in there. I think you've had pretty much an open invite to just about anybody for a while now, and you haven't got called up on that too many times. So I want to hear your top 5 of the American players today. And we'll say that we cannot include you because we have you as a consensus. Let's say number 1. I would have to assume that you have yourself number 1, even if you want to be humble about it.
I mean, it's going to be like Justin Hall, Chip, Scott, and I think the other person right behind them is probably Justin Bergman, and a lot of people don't give him the credit.
Why do you think that is? Because he doesn't travel?
Pretty much, man. Like, I mean, I really, you know, and not to say nothing bad about the guy, but I just don't understand why he doesn't show up to a lot of events. Doesn't make much sense to me.
But, I mean, you don't see him leave St. Louis very often.
Hey, I hope he never comes to an event if I'm there. So
he's a great player. He's a really great player.
He's a great player. Some of the things I've seen that I don't like, you know, of certain people, they just take a little too long to shoot, stuff like that. I'm not fond on that. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we've all been playing pool long enough. You don't have to do the, you know, and there's a lot of good players that still do it. I'm not just singling out. I'm not saying that's just about Bergman, let's just say. And I'm not saying he's super slow, and I don't really know because he might have picked up his pace. I don't know. I haven't seen him play. But let's just say, I mean, Dennis does that dumb shit. When I play him, I think they see Dennis and Alex, they do it sometimes on purpose because they know I'm a kind of a rhythm player or fast, you know? So they kind of like, they might have a straight in shot. They might sit there and look for 10 minutes on what they're going to do. And I'm like, come on, man, are you serious? But hey, you know, to each its own. And to me, now I've realized that they realize that it irritates me, so I just don't let it irritate me. No. It is what it is. I can't make somebody play faster. You know, it is what it is. You just got to put up with the bullshit. I'm a pretty good judge of character and reading through why and what people are doing. It's just, you know, I don't take no rocket sciences or whatnot, but let's just say, you know, to each its own, I guess.
So you got in no particular order, or what? Maybe it was in order. You had Scott, Justin Hall, Justin Bergman, and Chip.
Here's the thing. I think Scott's a great player. But he's been like, saying, I want to be put in the top 5, da, 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 da. That's fine. You want to get put in the top 5, just get up there and play somebody. You beat them, you're in the top 5. That's just what it is. All the other stuff, it doesn't need to be done. Okay. You want to put, I wish nobody ever put me in the top 5, but give me the opportunity to prove it. That's all. And you have the opportunity to prove it. So all you have to do is get up there and play these people. Listen, if I'm him, I'm getting up there and I'm playing Chip. I'm getting up there and I'm playing Jay Hall. I'm getting up there. You have people in your corner. If it's a money issue, which I don't think it is, because he's got lots of people in his corner. There's a lot of people that like Scott. There's a lot of people that are wanting to bet on him, whatever. Get up there and play these people, man. I mean, hey, I understand you might be doing other odd ends jobs or whatever you're doing. That's fine. But don't get mad if you're not putting this top 5 because you have another life going on now. You want to be a pool player or you want to be the working person? It is what it is. Yeah. You can do both, but you got to be mentally stable to do everything. Listen, I feel like I'm Jamaican. I do like 10 different jobs every day, man. It's just the way it is. I mean, I'm filling out these shipping labels and doing my clothes. I mean, I'm doing my razzes. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm headed to go give a lesson. I'm headed to go play pool. I do something all the time. I'm far from not busy, let's just say. And I'm happy to not be busy. So it's just one of those things. It's, you got to eat up whatever it is that you want,
I feel like Scott and Justin Hall are in kind of the same boat there, where they're not on the radar enough. And Josh Roberts was another name that was tossed around by Brian Lowell in the chat. And I think all 3 of those players, they don't hang around the pool world enough consistently to stay on anybody's radars. And Justin Hall might come out and take second in the one pocket last year at Derby. But if you don't stay on the radar, if you're not constantly matching up or, at least playing in tournaments, whether it's one pocket or not, I think it's hard to, at least for me, it's hard for me to want to keep you in my top whatever list if I don't see you enough. And I'm seeing players
and
like
that's
you
basically
in the ring with anyone who can.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. I'm not saying the guy's not a good player or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I just believe that, I mean, in order to say you're somebody or do something or whatever, these people are willing to play. So why not get up there and play? All you guys got to do is make dates. You don't have to act like, I mean, the last time me and Chip played was 3 or 4 months ago, and he acted like you wanted to play Chip. Well, guess what? It's 4 months later, and y'all still ain't played. I mean, I just believe that you should
Corey, right?
get up there. Huh?
Corey wanted a piece of Chip after that too, and that still hasn't happened either.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a whole lot of talking and nobody doing nothing. And honestly, like, I just feel like I feel like it's a waste of breath. You know what I mean? Like,
and in my opinion, the biggest losers of this are the fans, because we get hyped up about this. I wanted to see more than anything else in the world Chip play.
I can tell you one thing: if I say I'm going to do something, I'm doing it. And the only way it's not happening is if my opponent don't play.
Yeah, I was really happy, and hopefully it still happens. And we were kind of teased a little bit with Dennis and Alex too, and I'm sure maybe that's going to be predicated off of what happens with you and Alex, because I'm sure if you beat Alex, then it's probably going to be you and Dennis if you wanted to get into the ring.
If I beat Alex 9-8, Dennis can get played 9-8 also. And if I beat Dennis 9-8, then they both get played even.
I was gonna say I would assume that you.
I'm not gonna hostage no money. All they gotta do is just get up there and keep playing. That's all I could tell them. I'm not pulling up on nobody.
Well, now I'm rooting for you even harder, because now I just want to see another matchup out of this. Because if you win this first match, that'll guarantee us probably 2 more one pocket matchups. Because I'm sure you'll play Dennis at that point, and then Alex, you're going to give Alex a chance at his money back. So that'll guarantee us 2 more one pocket matchups. That'd be awesome.
I mean, that's my thinking. Now I can't explain that everyone else is thinking. So that's just me talking. So,
Yeah. So Ed Ladawi, I'm not really sure what your question is. Make it a one pocket round robin with Chohan and Frost. Does that mean anything to you?
I don't remember. Honestly, I mean, I remember going to the Make It Happen, but I don't know if I don't even think I won a match when I played there. Honestly, I don't even know. It was a round robin. I think I won one match or something, and it might have been against Scott. Now that you said that, which is funny because I don't really remember playing anyone. I don't know if I had played anybody else. Who else I would have? Who else I beat or not? I don't know.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the things you do outside of One Pocket. If you're okay to leave it right there. You, like you said, you're doing some clothing. So let's talk about your Game Tight to start out with. I'm wearing Game Tight. That's your company. Why don't you talk a little bit about it? Why'd you create it?
Well, the why factor we already talked about, and I don't know if we want to give I mean, I don't even want to give bad publicity to this person, so I won't. Let's just say one person made me mad, and I went ahead and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna start my own thing," and it's taken off and gotten good, gotten good feedback from the fans and a lot of support from a lot of people in the pool world. So I'm appreciative of it, and so now. I was reading some of these messages that are popping up. I'm like, what? I'm like, but yeah, I mean, a matter of fact, I just got a big shipment in. I got a lot of new Game Tight apparel. I got about 4 different designs, some hats, 6 different hat designs that just came in. I just been shipping, like, I've been boxing and shipping stuff for the last 2 days because I just got home a couple days ago. And I've just been staying busy, and then I got to go to Texas Open probably Friday, Saturday. I'll probably head towards that way, and so
Jason
I'm just
Romero.
but there, and that's another great guy. Honestly, Jason's a good guy.
I hope I get a chance to meet him someday. I've heard a lot about him. He does a lot of things for a lot of the players in the industry, from what I've heard.
No, he does. I mean, and he keeps action going. You know what I mean? He's I mean, that's what it takes. And you need guys like Tom Medina. You need guys like Jason Romero. You need guys like, I mean, there's a lot of good guys in the pool world that are putting up some money and giving the players a chance to make some money, and this, that, and the other. And it's just one of those things. All right, Jay, you're a bad guy for pool, though.
Yeah. Ooh, how do I kick him off the stream? He's bad.
So there's a lot of good stuff going on. If anybody ever wants to buy any of my Game Tight stuff, it's usually on my personal page. I don't really have a website or nothing because it means 2 more steps I got to go through and look what came in or what that. So I honestly, like, if you send me a message and you're wanting something, I'll give you the prices. I'll give you pics of whatever you want. Yeah, you can send me a message on my personal page on Facebook, and that's pretty much how I run the business through there. And I have a Facebook Game Tight page, but you don't have to go to that. You can just personally message me.
I'm gonna have to get my shirt's getting a little old. I'm gonna have to get myself one myself.
Yeah, so I'm growing it.
I'll send you a message. So, all right. So let's move on to, I guess, the last topic that we can talk about, unless there's anything else that you wanted to discuss, and that is the future of the game. More specifically, One Pocket. So, like you said, you're not a spring chicken anymore. You're starting to get up there a little bit in age, and I think if you look around the industry, a lot of the One Pocket players are. We still have the Billies and the Justins and stuff like that. Where do you envision the future of One Pocket going? Do you envision this is kind of just a game where you got to be maybe a little bit older to appreciate the art of it, or do you think it's a game that's kind of dying out?
Oh no, I don't. I mean, here's the difference. I mean, from the gambling aspect, it's the best game to gamble with by far. You know what I mean? It's not the game. The game will never die because the gamblers will always play it. I mean, like SVB said, he thinks it's just for gamblers. Well, that's the most retarded thing I've ever heard somebody say. I mean, it's a game for somebody that's got a brain that has to use it, that can't cheat the rack and can't do nothing else. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't really want to go off tangent, but since it's something that came up on my mind and I wanted to say something, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to let it be because I don't feel like responding to every little thing. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, SVB is great. He's a great player. But don't say ignorant comments because unless you want an ignorant comment to come back. It's just what it is. You have to, I mean, and he plays the game great too. So for somebody to say that, that's what I'm saying. For somebody to say that Pocket's ball is great like him.
He plays it the right way. Even more surprisingly, he plays the game the right way.
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, he just it was kind of a stupid comment that he made and whatnot. So I just kind of don't really give him too much, you know what I mean?
Don't yuck.
And then here's a guy I flew to South Dakota before he ever came out and about, and I went down there. I played him some sets and stuff, and we played for like 2-3 days. Played a bunch of 10 ahead sets. Anyways, long story short, after about 3 days of playing, I think I ended up winning a couple $1,000 or something like that. We was playing sets for 10, 12, 8,000, da 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 da. Long story short, at the end of about 2-3 days, I ended up winning a couple $1,000, and we both said no more, right? Okay. But we played multiple times of everything else. I'm kind of the one person that he won't gamble with. He says he never beats me, da 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 da. That's fine, you know what I mean? But you're getting up there, you're trying to play people, at the end of the day, he's got to learn that he's got a lot of pool in this pool world, that he could actually make pool a little bit better, and he needs to learn how to use that to make it better. Now, I'm not telling him to, not make the money that he's making or not get his money. Just figure out a way to use your sponsors or use your other contacts to try to grow pool, and you can make a pro pool tour with 10-ball, 9-ball if that's what you want to do. That's your game. Da, da, da. That's your game. Then why don't you have a pro pool tour? Because you're one person that can definitely change the outcome of pool. But that's a choice that person has to make. You want to be the face of pool? There's a different way to be a face of the pool also. You take your face and use it in different aspects. You've made your money from pool. You've been smart with your money. You don't have to make any less money. You can still make all your money. You just got to figure out a way to help the game now. The game helped you, and now you help the game.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
Some people will do it and some people won't. But that's his choice. I do what I can when I can, but I don't have the platform he's got.
So I think Matt Diber had a pretty good question. He's a local Wisconsin guy, big one pocket player too, actually. What are the prospects of a Tony versus Josh rematch? Because that was one of the most fun matches I think I've ever watched.
I mean, honestly, yeah, but he ain't been back, so I can't even really speak on whether or not he's gonna play or when he's gonna play or if he will play or any of that. But yeah, he's got an open invitation to come to Buffalo's and play a set for about 20 at least.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I was lucky enough to be able to commentate that one with Alex Lely, and that was some entertainment. At one point in time, you guys had played, I believe 7 racks of pool in a little over 40 minutes, and it was amazing. There were shots coming out of everywhere. There was banks drilled and run out. It was
he's one of the straightest shooting persons I've ever seen. The thing is, in my opinion, I feel like all pool should be played on 4 1/8 inch pockets. And if you make great shots and you make great outs, then guess what? I'll give you a pat on the fucking head or whatever you need. Excuse me. That was
am I wrong in saying that Dennis or Roy's table was 4 1/4? Or was it 4 1/2?
I want to say it's probably 4 1/2.
4 1/2. Okay.
But you want to see good pool. You put good pool on 4 1/8 inch pockets or 4-inch pockets that are diamonds. You're going to see good pool. You're going to see people have to play good shape. You're going to see people miss if they don't play good shape. You're going to see people have to finesse that ball when they don't get good shape, or they're going to have to finesse shape. They can't just hammer a ball in. There's a reason why SVB don't play on nothing but 4.5-inch pockets.
So is that the perfect? Is that your perfect pocket size? Is 4 1/8, or would you like a little tighter?
I think I think if you ever want to see good pool and you want to see people play the game properly, you don't want to see somebody break 3 balls on the break every time, or you don't want to see you're able to go 4 rails to play shape. You know what I mean? Yeah, I want to see you can play 4 rail shape with a 4.1/8-inch pocket. You do that, I'm gonna clap for you. I'm gonna be your number 1 fan when you do that. But that's the difference between Filipinos and Americans. They have a better finesse stroke. They're going to be able to do what they have to do to travel around the table if they need be.
Yep. Gotcha. Well, I guess I do want to talk about. So you had mentioned earlier that you would put a post out there and you would end up getting a bunch of new sponsors. So why don't you take a couple seconds to actually mention some of your sponsors now, the people that are helping you out and hooking you up?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, I've got like 15 sponsors. So I want to say I don't want to leave nobody out because I don't have all 15 off the top of my head. But I'm going to say, let's just say Omega, Pool Action TV, Adam Stickles, Extra Real, Johnny Rocket with Rocket Custom Cues, Rocket Brake Cues, Lao Mo from Vietnam. Let's see. I got Eric Nelson with he's from Illinois area. The action. I'm sorry. See, I knew you was gonna do this to me. But there's hold on. I got put on the spot. I almost want to. Let's see.
Jason Romero for being your backer.
Jason Romero
up to 50K. No, he's not. Yeah. He's being mean. He's dogging on my shirt that I got like 2 years ago.
Who?
Jason.
Oh, he is.
Tracy's over here calling it a schmedium.
I got Brandon Cause out of Michigan. He's got a dispensary. Let's see. Is
that the one place you want product from?
Always. Nah, I don't smoke no more, honestly. I here and there if I'm not really. Dang, man. And I did just sign with McDaniel's Q's. So I'll be starting to use McDaniel's Q in October. Roberto Franco, Molina Mike, James Handshoe. No, I got a few more.
James is another guy you can give I think James is another guy you can give a shout out to for giving quite a bit back to the game.
Yeah.
He does some good things for the game.
No, for sure. Like I said, there's a lot of good people in the pool world, man. I mean, and everybody's trying to support everybody, you know what I mean, as much as they can. And that's greatly appreciated, you know what I mean? I got to give a shout out to Buffalo here in New Orleans, you know what I mean? I'm a house pro here. He helps me out.
He's the funniest follow on all of Facebook, James.
That's for sure. He's hilarious.
That dude says some hilarious stuff, dude.
Oh yeah, he's classic. He's definitely classic. Dang, I wish I could just.
I'll let you off the hook. It's my fault that you didn't get to the rest of them. We're out of time. Yeah. I don't know. We'll just say that. We'll just say that's true. Yeah. All right, man. Well, Tony, I guess let's get you out of here on this one. You're playing Alex. What's your prediction for the match? How are you going to do?
I mean, it's going to be a tough match. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm going to rob him or nothing like that. I think if I play well, it could be a robbery. But I'll just say that me getting 9-8 is going to give me a lot of options to the way I want to attack the game every game.
Gotcha.
So that's yeah.
All right. Well, anybody who wants some Game Tight apparel, make sure to hit up Tony via private message or, on any of his posts. Go to his page, follow him, find the post where you can get some of his gear. And other than that, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you, Nate. I appreciate everybody.
All right. Take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.